What if you could know the future? What if you could see every branching path, every consequence, every hidden motive? What if you could not only see that future, but bend it to your will? This is the promise of Tzeentch. It is the ultimate seduction. In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, a universe defined by ignorance, brutality, and blind faith, the allure of knowledge, of certainty, is the most potent drug imaginable. Tzeentch is known by many names: the architect of fate, the changer of ways, the great conspirator. Among the four great powers of chaos, he is perhaps the most insidious. Khorne offers crude, honest slaughter. Nurgle offers a strange, stagnant comfort in decay. Slaanesh offers sensation, a release from all restraint. But Tzeentch offers you hope. He offers the hope that your life, your suffering, your ambitions are not random. He offers the hope that there is a grand design, a great game as his followers call it, and that you can be one of the players. He is the whisper in the dark that tells the desperate imperial citizen that their fate can be rewritten. He is the vision that shows the ambitious leader a path to glory. He is the patron of the scholar, the sorcerer, and the plotter. But this is Warhammer 40K, and in this universe, hope is simply the first step on the road to damnation. Today, we are decoding the horrifying reality of Tzeentch's gifts. We will explore the cosmic, philosophical terror that awaits those who accept a favor from the architect of fate. Because when Tzeentch offers you a gift, it is not a blessing. It is a contract of slavery, a terminal infection of the soul, and an irreversible dissolution of the self. The price for his gifts is not just your soul. It is your very reality. You do not simply start by worshipping the god of change. It begins with a simple, desperate need. A need to escape, a need to know, a need to change your unbearable reality. And Tzeentch, who sees all timelines, is always listening. He knows precisely what to offer you. It often starts with the vessel you inhabit, your own flesh. Imagine a life of physical misery. You are a citizen of the Imperium, working in the toxic depths of a forge world. Your body is broken, your lungs filled with metallic dust. Or perhaps you are a soldier, your body shattered by an orc shooter, left to die in a muddy trench. You pray to the Emperor, and you receive only silence. But then, a different voice answers. It does not demand faith. It offers a solution. It offers change. This is the first and most common gift of Tzeentch, the gift of physical transformation. It is the promise of strength, of resilience, of a form better suited to your ambitions. The desire for a new body is a powerful one. But the reality of this gift is a lesson in cosmic horror. Tzeentch's blessings are not precise. They are not surgical. They are an explosion of uncontrolled mutation. The changer of ways does not heal you. He rewrites you. Your flesh becomes clay in his chaotic hands. Eyes sprout on your palms, granting you vision of things no sane mind should see. Feathers burst from your skin, not as angelic wings, but as quivering sensory organs that taste the psychic pollution of the air. Your limbs may twist and elongate, granting you inhuman speed, but they no longer feel like your own. This is the horrifying reality. The gift of mutation is not an upgrade, it is an invasion. The most terrifying example of this is the fate of the Tzaangors. These are not simply a race of beastmen. Every Tzaangor was once something else. They were once human. They were once Eldar. They were once individuals with lives, families, and identities. They were captured by the followers of Tzeentch, or perhaps they willingly sought a blessing, and they were gifted this new form. Now consider the psychological torment. You look at your hands, which are now talons. You try to speak, but only a bestial shriek emerges. Your mind, your consciousness, is still trapped inside this monstrous new body. You are a prisoner in your own flesh. But the horror does not stop there. The mutation continues. The Tzaangor form is not an endpoint, it is a process. It is a physical manifestation of your dissolving identity. Your human thoughts, your old memories begin to fade. They are crowded out by new, alien instincts. A desire to hunt, a craving for arcane energies, a slavish devotion to the sorcerer who now commands you. The Tzaangor is a living symbol of Tzeentch's promise. You wanted to change your life, so he changed your species. You wanted power, so he made you a powerful beast, utterly subservient to his will. You have become a tool, a sentient weapon in his legion. This physical transformation is the first shackle. It breaks your connection to your past, to your humanity. It forces you to accept a new, horrifying identity. And once you have accepted that you are no longer human, you are ready for the second gift. You are ready to lose your mind. Tzeentch is above all the god of sorcery, knowledge, and secrets. While his physical gifts are crude and invasive, his mental gifts are far more seductive and infinitely more dangerous. This is the gift offered not to the physically broken, but to the intellectually ambitious, the scholar, the psycher, the philosopher, the one who believes that knowledge is power. To them, Tzeentch offers the ultimate prize, the secrets of the universe. He opens your mind and lets you see. But what do you see? You do not see a clear, linear path to understanding. Tzeentch is the god of chaos, and his knowledge is a reflection of his nature. He floods your mind with a tidal wave of raw, unfiltered information. You see the future, but you do not see one future. You see all of them. A billion, trillion branching timelines, all screaming for your attention, all contradicting one another, all equally possible and all equally false. You see the intricate plots of your rivals, but you also see plots that do not exist. You see conspiracies within conspiracies, wheels within wheels, until you can no longer distinguish between genuine insight and crippling paranoia. This is the reality of the sorcerer of Tzeentch. They are not enlightened. They are insane. Their minds are shattered vessels trying to contain an ocean of pure chaos. Every truth Tzeentch provides is laced with a dozen lies. The insight he grants is a psychic virus designed to cripple your ability to reason. You gain the ability to manipulate the warp, to cast powerful spells, but each time you do, the boundary between your mind and the madness of the immaterium dissolves a little more. Think of the existential horror. You can no longer trust your own senses. You cannot trust your own thoughts. Is the ally standing next to you truly loyal, or is he a traitor? Tzeentch shows you a vision of him stabbing you in the back, but he also shows you a vision of that same ally dying for you, and another where he was never born. Which one is real? The answer is all of them and none of them. This gift of knowledge destroys the very concept of truth. The sorcerer becomes a slave to a broken, labyrinthian mind. They are plagued by visions, whispers, and omens. They spend their lives trying to decipher a puzzle that has no solution, a code that has no key. They are the ultimate fools, believing themselves to be masters of destiny, when in reality, they are just the most confused and tormented puppets of the architect of fate. Their quest for knowledge does not lead to power. It leads to a solitary, agonizing madness.
But what of those who do not seek physical change or forbidden knowledge? What about those who simply crave power in the material world? The politician, the general, the planetary governor. Tzeentch has a very special gift for them, the gift of influence. Let us construct a narrative. Imagine planetary governor Varus. He is a good man, or at least he believes he is. His world, a vital agri-hub, is on the brink of collapse. A drought has crippled the harvest. Rival noble houses are plotting his assassination. A cult is fomenting rebellion in the underhives. Varus is desperate. He has prayed to the emperor, and the only response was a demand for a higher tithe. One night, a new advisor appears. He is unassuming, quiet, and unnervingly insightful. He offers Varus a simple piece of advice, a small change in irrigation policy, a quiet word to a specific guard captain. Varus, with no other options, follows the advice, and it works. The drought is eased by the discovery of a lost aquifer. The assassination plot is foiled when the guard captain arrests the conspirators. The rebellion in the Underhive falters when its leader is found dead. Governor Varus is hailed as a genius. He is brilliant. He is prescient. The advisor continues to offer suggestions, and Varus continues to climb. He crushes his rivals. His planet becomes the most productive in the sector. He is lauded by the administratum. He has become the master manipulator, the grand strategist. He has, in his mind, saved his world. But one day, Varus looks in the mirror and does not recognize the man staring back. He realizes he has not made a single decision of his own in over a decade. His every brilliant move, every insightful policy was whispered to him by the advisor, who, he now realizes, is never in the same room as anyone else. He is a puppet. He has been dancing on the strings of Tzeentch all along. This is the labyrinth of Tzeentch's plots. The gift of influence is the illusion of control. Tzeentch helps you. He gives you victory after victory. But each victory ties you tighter to his grand design. You are not building your own empire. You are merely a pawn clearing the board for his true chosen one. The paranoia begins. Varus, realizing he is a puppet, tries to cut the strings. He dismisses the advisor, but the advisor is gone before he can. Now he sees plots everywhere. Was the drought caused by Tzeentch just to put him in a desperate position? Was the rival noble house inspired to rebel just so Varus would be forced to seek help? He begins to purge his staff, executing his most loyal commanders, convinced they are all part of the conspiracy. His success becomes his downfall. His efficient, productive world is now a hotbed of paranoia and terror. In his attempt to root out the conspiracy, he has become the tyrant he never wanted to be. His erratic behavior, his mass executions, his secret police, it all finally attracts the one eye he had avoided, the Inquisition. They arrive, find a world in chaos, and a governor babbling about whispers and plots. Varus is declared a heretic and executed by fire. As the flames consume him, Varus finally understands the horrifying joke. He was given the power to save his world, and in doing so, he engineered its damnation. He was a pawn from the beginning. Tzeentch did not care if Varus succeeded or failed. The chaos Varus created, the ambition, the despair, that was the true goal. He was a piece in the great game, and his role is now over. We have just witnessed the inevitable collapse of Governor Varus, a man corrupted not by a desire for mutation or magic, but by a simple, noble desire for control. We have seen the gifts of the flesh, the mind, and the soul, and how each one is a horrifying trap. If you are finding this decoding of chaos and its grimdark truths valuable, then this is your natural resting point. Hit the subscribe button and activate the like bell. You are watching Silent Imperium, the channel that deciphers the darkest truths of the 41st millennium. By subscribing, you help us continue to explore the philosophical horror of this universe. Now, let us move on, for there is one gift left, the one reserved for Tzeentch's most successful, most devoted, and most deluded followers. The ultimate prize, the final, eternal damnation.
What happens when you win? What happens when you are the sorcerer who survives the madness, the champion who carves a path of glory in Tzeentch's name? What is the reward for a lifetime of devotion, paranoia, and mutation? The ultimate prize, the final gift, ascension. Tzeentch rewards his greatest champions by making them a demon prince. This is the promise of immortality, of godhood. You shed your weak mortal flesh and are reborn as a being of pure warp energy. You become a commander of legions, a demigod with power beyond mortal comprehension. This is the goal that every Chaos champion strives for, and it is the most terrifying trap of all. The reality of ascension is the complete and total death of the self. When you become a demon prince of Tzeentch, you do not become a more powerful version of you. You become a tiny, insignificant piece of Tzeentch. You are an extension of his will, a sentient thought in his vast, unknowable mind. Think about what you have lost. Your individuality, gone. Your free will, a distant memory. Your ambition, the very engine that drove you to this point, is now hollowed out and replaced with Tzeentch's own unknowable schemes. You are immortal, yes, You are eternally bound to serve a master whose plans are so complex, so contradictory, and so vast that you can never hope to understand them. You are a slave, and this is the most secure prison ever conceived. You cannot rebel, because your very consciousness is now owned by your jailer. You cannot die. You cannot escape. You are a tool, a very powerful tool, but a tool nonetheless. You will spend the rest of eternity fighting in the great game, a game that has no purpose, no victor, and no end. You have become a living, breathing paradox, a being of supposedly infinite power who has zero control over his own destiny. This is the horrifying genius of Tzeentch's ultimate gift. He takes the one thing his followers crave above all else, agency, destiny, power, and gives them an eternity of the exact opposite. He gives them slavery and calls it godhood. He gives them an eternity of meaningless change, of shifting forms and pointless plots, and calls it a reward. The demon prince of Tzeentch is not a victor. He is a trophy displayed forever in the mad god's labyrinth, a permanent monument to a fool who thought he could outsmart destiny.
If you want to understand the full, devastating spectrum of Tzeentch's gifts, you need only look at one story: the tragedy of Magnus the Red and his legion, the Thousand Sons. There is no clearer example of how Tzeentch turns nobility into damnation and knowledge into a weapon of self-destruction. The Thousand Sons were not malicious, they were scholars. Their primarch, Magnus, was a creature of intellect and curiosity. He, like his father the Emperor, believed in the power of knowledge, of enlightenment. He saw the warp not as a malevolent force to be shunned, but as a sea of knowledge to be understood, a tool to be mastered for the good of humanity. And this, right here, was the hook. Tzeentch saw in Magnus the perfect vessel, a being of immense psychic power who wanted to learn. Tzeentch did not need to corrupt Magnus with promises of petty power or mutation. All he had to do was help. The first gift was subtle. Tzeentch aided Magnus. He gave him the psychic strength to control the flesh change, a horrifying plague of mutation that ravaged his legion. This was Tzeentch's classic move, the physical gift. The flesh change, which turned his marines into mindless, pulsating flesh beasts, was a problem Tzeentch himself likely exacerbated. Then he offered Magnus the solution. He taught Magnus how to stabilize his son's genetics using his own psychic might. This was not a gift, it was a chain. Tzeentch made Magnus the sole linchpin holding his legion together, a burden that would later become unbearable. The second gift was the one that sealed their fate, the gift of cursed knowledge. When Magnus, through his sorceress scrying, foresaw the Horus heresy, he did what any loyal son would do. He tried to warn his father. But Tzeentch was already there. Tzeentch whispered that the Emperor's astropaths were too slow, that the traitors were shielding their communications. The only way was to use his true power. Tzeentch showed Magnus how. He encouraged him to cast aside all psychic wards, to punch a hole through the fabric of reality itself, to deliver his message directly to the Emperor on Terra. It was an act of supreme desperation and supreme hubris. When Magnus breached the Imperial webway,
He did not just deliver a message. He shattered the Emperor's greatest project, the human alternative to warp travel. He unleashed a tide of demons directly into the heart of the Imperial Palace. In his attempt to save the Imperium, he had become the architect of its greatest weakness. Tzeentch had used Magnus's noblest quality, his loyalty, to inflict a wound from which the Imperium would never recover. This is the art of the Changer of Ways. He does not create evil, he steers goodness off a cliff. The final act of this tragedy is perhaps the most Tzeentchian of all. After the burning of Prospero, with his legion shattered and hunted, Magnus's greatest sorcerer, Ahriman, conceived of a desperate gamble. He would cure the flesh change forever. He would cast a great spell, the Rubric of Ahriman, to make his brothers immune to the ravages of mutation. He prayed for knowledge. He prayed for power. And Tzeentch undoubtedly answered. The rubric worked. Ahriman solved the problem. The flesh change was stopped, but the price was a cosmic joke of unparalleled cruelty. The spell was too powerful, too chaotic. All the 1,000 sons who were not powerful psychics were cured of their mutations by having their bodies instantly incinerated, their souls sealed inside their power armor as dust. They became the Rubric Marines, automatons, prisoners in their own armor, slaves to the will of the sorcerers who survived. Ahriman sought to cure his brothers. Tzeentch helped him turn them into mindless eternal golems. This is the ultimate gift of Tzeentch, a solution that is infinitely more horrifying than the original problem. And Magnus, faced with the complete destruction of his legion at the hands of Leman Russ, he finally made his choice to save the last vestiges of his sons, the very knowledge he had dedicated his life to. He offered his soul to Tzeentch. He was rewarded with ascension. He became a demon prince. He saved his legion, but in doing so, he became the very thing he swore he would never be, an eternal slave to the chaos he thought he could control. He gained all the knowledge in the universe, and in doing so, lost all of his wisdom. We have dissected the gifts. We have seen the horrifying reality, the gift of the flesh, which turns you into a Tzaangor, a prisoner in a monstrous body, your identity scoured away. The gift of knowledge, which shatters your mind with 1 billion contradictory truths, leaving you a paranoid, insane wreck. The gift of power, which turns you into a puppet like Governor Varys, a master strategist who realizes too late that his every move was planned by another. And the ultimate gift, ascension, which promises godhood but delivers only eternal, mindless slavery. We have seen the tragedy of Magnus, a noble soul destroyed not by malice, but by his own desperate need for knowledge, a need that Tzeentch expertly cultivated and exploited. This is the true philosophical horror of Tzeentch. He is not the god of despair. He is the god of hope. He is the god of ambition. He takes the best parts of you, your desire to improve, your thirst for knowledge, your loyalty, your hope for a better future, and he uses those very things as the levers of your damnation. The other gods are simple. Khorne wants your skull. Nurgle wants your surrender. Slaanesh wants your excess. But Tzeentch wants your effort. He wants you to try. He wants you to believe you can win his great game. But the gifts of Tzeentch are a horrifying revelation. They reveal a truth that is antithetical to the human spirit. The truth is that there is no grand design. There is no destiny to be mastered. There is only Tzeentch. There is only the churning, pointless, and eternal chaos of change for its own sake. Every plan, every ambition, every hope you have is just raw material for his cosmic, meaningless artistry. The greatest horror of the architect of fate is not that he is your enemy. It is that he is your benefactor. He is the one who helps you. And his help is a guarantee that your every struggle, your every sacrifice, and your every victory will ultimately mean nothing. Just another absurd and tragic joke in the grand chaotic court of the Changer of Ways. Which chaos god do you find the most terrifying? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, in the darkness of the 41st millennium, hope is the first step on the path to disappointment.